welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today is to tackle what sources identify as, well, the most pervasive and dangerous dietary imbalance we face globally.
It's this twin problem, right? We're consuming way too much sodium and at the same time getting nowhere near enough potassium.
Exactly. And you might think you're doing okay, but the data is it's startling. Less than 1 in 5,000 Americans actually hits the recommended goals for both.
And before we get started, we have to give a mandatory health note here. This is really for informational purposes only.
Super important.
If you were considering any major dietary adjustments, especially around sodium and potassium, you absolutely must consult your doctor. This is critical if you have kidney disease, heart failure, or are on certain medications.
That makes perfect sense. So let's drill down into that potassium deficit. It's pretty severe.
It is.
Right now, less than 2% of us meet the minimum adequate intake, which is 4,700 milligrams a day.
And to put that in perspective, human diets historically probably contained well over 10,000 milligrams of potassium every single day.
So we are severely undershooting.
And the stakes are enormous. This imbalance makes high sodium the leading dietary risk factor for mortality across the globe, mostly through stroke and heart disease.
But the research also shows that even a modest boost can have a huge impact.
It's true. Just getting 1,600 milligrams more potassium a day is associated with a 21% lower risk of stroke.
That's incredible. But the most surprising finding, the real aha moment for me, was a study that used a half potassium salt blend.
Oh, that one's a game changer.
Just using that blend was associated with cutting the risk of dying from cardiovascular disease by about 40%.
40%. And they actually calculated that it extended life expectancy by nearly a year at age 70.
Wow.
Which is equivalent to a 14-year reduction in mortality risk. It's stunning.
So that brings us to the most practical fix: potassium salt alternatives. Essentially replacing sodium chloride with potassium chloride.
Exactly. It provides that salty flavor without the sodium hit. And there are a couple of ways to approach it.
Okay, so what are the options?
Well, you have the 100% potassium options. These are completely sodium-free. Brands like NoSalt or Morton salt substitute.
And what's the other way?
Then you have blends. A popular one is low salt. It's about 66% potassium and 33% sodium.
And why do a blend? Is it just about taste?
Mostly. That blend really helps cover up a slight metallic aftertaste that some people notice with the 100% versions.
And I saw data showing that even a 25% substitution, people often don't even notice it. But that small change was associated with cutting the risk of hypertension in half.
It's so impactful because it's an easy systemic reduction. But, while substitution is a fantastic strategy, we also have to talk about the underlying deficit.
Right, because the reason we're also deficient is we just don't eat enough whole plant foods.
That's the core of the problem.
So if we want to get this naturally, what does that look like on our shopping list? What are the power plants we should be seeking out?
You really want to prioritize foods that are just naturally packed with potassium. Leafy greens are a great place to start.
Like spinach and arugula.
Spinach, arugula, exactly. Legumes are also workhorses, so lentils and beans. And for fruits, you really want to look at avocados.
I heard a fun fact about this, that the banana, which everyone thinks of for potassium,
It's a bit of a myth.
it doesn't even make the top 50 sources for the mineral.
Not even close.
Of course, we should all eat more greens, but the results of swapping out chlorine-based salts with potassium-based salts have been so dramatic. What's to lose? Brands like NoSalt and LowSalt offer great alternatives.
And I think the final thought, the thing we really mull over is that the fundamental issue driving our top killer stroke heart disease is the total reversal of the natural sodium to potassium ratio in our modern diets. That shift away from whole plant foods is what we really have to address.